Did you know, Mark, your credit card points and miles can lose value to inflation? Credit card companies often reduce the redemption value of your points and miles. Now imagine a credit card with rewards that can grow in value.
That's right. With the Gemini credit card, you can earn Bitcoin or one of over 50 other cryptos instantly with no annual fee. Every swipe at the store or gas pump earns you instant rewards deposited straight into your account. Plus, sign up now for a $200 Bitcoin bonus to kickstart your rewards.
A Bitcoin bonus. That is what I need in my life. So I guess I have to visit Gemini.com/card today. If you're looking to invest in Bitcoin but don't know where to start, the Gemini credit card makes it easy.
Issued by WebBank. To qualify for the $200 crypto intro bonus, you must spend $3,000 in your first 90 days. Some exclusions to instant rewards apply. This is not investment advice, and trading crypto involves risk. Check Gemini's website for more details on rates and fees.
Want to give a gift that actually matters this season? Start with skincare that's clean, effective, and actually works. Primally Pure makes gifting simple. From cult favorite staples to limited edition holiday scents, all toxin-free, intentionally crafted, and ready to wrap. Perfect for gifting or treating yourself. Skip the synthetic fragrances and holiday gimmicks. Cozy vanilla mint body care, cranberry red lip balm. Primally Pure captures all the festive nostalgia naturally. Thousands of glowing reviews prove it. This is clean beauty that works inside and out. Skin, body, wellness. Their products help you create rituals that last well beyond the holidays. 'Tis the season for tradition and intention. Shop Primally Pure's best-selling essentials and new limited edition bundles to wrap up wellness for everyone on your list, including yourself.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night, but not before you check out the Week 17 preview, Heed in the Call.
Whether you've been naughty or nice, we will deliver.
We don't care where you fall on the list. Just make sure you check out the show. Let's go. Heed the Call. Hey, welcome to Heed the Call, an NFL podcast on this Christmas Eve. How. Dan Hanzus here with Marc Sessler, Conor Orr, Justin Graver on the ones and twos. The big man's coming down the chimney. Maybe not to Mark's apartment. It's been especially naughty there this year.
I don't have a chimney. That would be the first issue, structurally.
Right. I'm referring to some of the things like in the basement, and maybe don't pass as kosher up there in the old North Pole.
Well, I think it's sort of an odd concept that we're welcoming a rotund, bearded white male into my home in the middle of the night without me, fact-checking his background or what he's about.
Why does his skin color matter? Conor, how are you? You are. This is like a. There's almost like a challenge that we have, like the old Real World Road Rules challenge. Like, can we get the show in before Conor has to get into the pre-owned TNC for the 90-minute drive to get to Mass? Do the time, if we have like a running clock on like when does Mass start? How fast does the TNC have to drive? How's traffic? What's the weather situation in central New Jersey? Like, take us through it all.
Yeah, so I compare this right now to being in a bunker in an active war zone where in this very moment, okay, here we go. Yeah, there's
facts are facts, bro. It's
250 other cars on here and everybody's fine.
Yeah, 249 death machines and yours. Yes.
There it is.
But yes, right in here in this moment, I feel very safe and happy, but I know that there are just bombs going off in every direction. Just a short trip up those stairs. We need to get a bunch of kids dressed in clothes they don't want to be in. We gotta drive down to church, and then you go straight from church over to. But before that, I have to cook part of the Christmas dinner where we're going, and then I gotta wrap it in food. Oh, it's just gonna be. It's just going to be
May
comical.
I suggest, like Henry Hill in Goodfellas on his last day before he was captured, do a shit ton of drugs and don't mind the helicopters following the TNC down the Garden State Parkway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so yes, it is the holiday season, and we're all going to be spending time with our loved ones a little later. But before we do that, we have work to do. We have to get into week 17 of the NFL. And as you know, the races are hot and heavy. Justin, throw up the AFC side first, just to give us like a lay of the land before we dive into the games here. Right now, the Broncos control their destiny in the AFC. They've clinched a playoff spot. They are at KC, home Chargers. If they win both those games, they'll finish 14-3 and lock up the top seed, despite losing to Jacksonville. But their margin for error is nil. The Patriots have the same 12-3 record, and they also have two bad AFC East teams on their schedule. So there's a very strong chance at Jets, home Miami. There's a very strong chance the Pats finish 14-3, and one slip by Denver, and the Pats take that first seed. Then there is one other team in the mix here. Well, two, I guess. The Chargers and the Bills, maybe three, and the Jaguars, all at 11-4. And if things get crazy, they all have a path as well. But it really feels where we stand right now that it's probably going to be Broncos or Pats that take that top seed. And then at the bottom of the bracket, the Colts, 1% chance of the playoffs, bye-bye. The Ravens, 6% chance of the playoffs, bye-bye. The rest of the field is set, Sessy. So we know this with 7 teams. We just don't know the order and, most importantly, who's going to have that first week off in the playoffs.
Yeah, there is a fair amount of drama based on that scenario of like who's going to get the number 1 seed. I mean, if you're the Patriots, you'd have to really stumble to not.
Miami's been a house of horrors for that team. That would be the only game I'd keep an eye on.
This Patriots team, though, like that was a Brady Patriots team thing over and over in a weird way.
No,
But
not just Brady. As Patriots fans, it's been something that's followed them even post Brady Belichick. But also, those Dolphins teams weren't starting Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, well, that's a fair point. I mean,
that's the bigger issue.
I know that it's like, week 18, let's have 18 scenarios still up in the sky. I kind of like having stuff solved and nailed down.
We know, Mark.
What?
Say no more. It's been 7 of your last 9 themes of the week.
It has not been
no
7
drama,
of 9,
please. No close games. No hot playoff races. Give me 7 and let's move to January.
One of my themes was kitty bites. I was thinking about this because it was like all the themes are the same. They're not. There were some different little things sprinkled in there. One about sexual positions. Come on.
Okay, let's head to the NFC. See how this looks, Connor. This is a lot more volatile, put it that way. So the Seahawks are currently the 1 seed at Carolina, at San Francisco. Okay, that would get them with 2 wins to 14-3 and the top seed, and they are 1 game clear of of the Chicago Bears, who are at 11-4, but they have a very tough finish at San Francisco, home Lions. The Eagles are also hanging around there. All 3 of these teams have clinched. The Eagles can't get the number 1 seed, though. Thank you, Justin. They're 10-5. Even if they win out and everybody else loses, they are locked out of the 1 seed. So the Eagles are playing wild card weekend, and I can't wait. Then it gets a little murky. So right now, for instance, the 4 seed is the Panthers. Why? Because they control the NFC South right now. But they only have a 46% playoff percentage possibility, according to the Athletics NFL playoff simulator, because some people still think somehow the Bucs are going to end up winning that division. Maybe they haven't been watching them for a while. Elsewhere, the Rams are locked in at the 6 right now. They can move up, all the way up if things break their way, but they have clinched a playoff spot. The Niners, 100%. They've clinched a playoff spot. The Packers, even with those that devastating loss, they are 96% in. And then it really comes down to, Connor, it's a little less exciting than I even realized before I looked at this chart, but it's really more or less, this side is set too, except for the NFC South winner, which is a coin flip according to the odds makers.
Part of me wants this to hold in both conferences so badly, because when is the last time we went into the playoffs almost certain that like a 6 or a 7 seed was going to end up being the team in the conference championship, and this team that ends up getting the bye at the top is probably one and done. And that's what I love about this playoffs, is that there is an element of chaos to it. And again, like you said, the Rams can rise to the top, Seahawks can knock down, but I want everything to kind of cement as is, because then you just have electric wild cards, and then you have 1 seeds getting knocked off at home. Like, it's going to be much more fun that way.
And if you look at it, and we're talking about that, I'm really excited to see that Eagles game, that first round game. Right now, if it held, it would be the LA Rams traveling to Philadelphia.
Hello.
I don't like that for Philadelphia.
Wild Card Weekend. So, yes, those are the stakes, and very exciting to see how it all shakes out. We've been doing this for so long, but the reason why we're still doing this show, the reason why we started the show in the first place is we love this shit. It's fun. It's a soap opera. That's what people don't realize. It's a story. It's a long story that gets told every season, and now we're getting to the third act of it. So let's dig in.
And this is the best regular season that we've experienced as a group in a long, long time.
I think you're right, especially in terms of like the surprises. And who's risen, who's fallen. And just a station note, we mentioned it Monday night, but we'll mention it one more time. The Christmas schedule is awful this year.
It's not their fault, but it's how it played out.
It all kind of worked out in terms of evening out because Thanksgiving was so stellar. But this schedule is bonkers bad. Potential or confirmed starting quarterbacks for Week 17 include Tyler Huntley, Chris Olodokun, Quinn Ewers, Brady Cook, Clayton Tune, Max Brosmer, and Josh Johnson. Many of those guys are set up for the Christmas slate on Netflix. So good luck with that. All right.
That's when you do a bag of cocaine as the viewer.
Get the good stuff, Connor. Be careful. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. A lot out there.
Let's get into it. Let's start, as we always start, with the late window. Not always, but usually. The big game, the game that really stands out here. The number 10 Eagles in our power rankings, 10-5, at the number 3 Bills, 11-4. Burkhardt and Brady on the call. The stakes are very high for both of these teams. We told you the Eagles can't get a bye, but the Bills, it's all in front of the Bills. They need the Patriots to trip, obviously. Otherwise, they're going to be locked into a wild card spot. But the first thing you got to do is you take care of business at home. Is this potentially the last game ever at Rich Stadium? Are they home next week too? Let me say this. Look at a little bit of history.
It is their farewell tour.
No, they get the Jets at home too. So they finished with 2 games at home. Great. So my Jets get to watch the Patriots celebrate winning the division Week 17, and then the fucking conga party in Buffalo in Week 18 as they close out that shithole.
It's a real joyride.
Great. All right, let's get into the game. Connor, your thoughts on Eagles, Bills, where these teams stand, and who do you like in this game?
Well, I mean, Buffalo, we've seen it a couple times where this defense does allow things to get out of control. And it's no secret that they're vulnerable against the run, just like the run is their strength offensively. We finally started to see some life from Saquon Barkley. I think the Eagles' offensive line has started to solidify. And with that, I think that, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I think Kevin Patullo's become more confident as a play caller. They're trying more stuff, or maybe more stuff is being suggested to him. I don't know what it is, but I do wonder if the Eagles get up there and they just can set the tone on the ground and then get into some of that tempo stuff that they were doing the last couple weeks. They're really good when they can just get back to the ball, use that athleticism, and hammer some of those thinner defensive lines. And so that's what I'm looking for right now in Philly.
I think also it matters. It sounds like, and it's early in the week, but Lane Johnson could be back. I mean, that allows them to line up and they can add an extra offensive lineman and force their will on a Buffalo team that has given up yards on the ground in various games here. And if you get a game where you don't have 12 and 11 play drives that end in missed field goals by Jake Elliott, last week looks a little different. The tush push wasn't perfect last week. Like, if you can shore that up and play big and run the ball, like, I think Philly starts to do what they want to do on offense. But Buffalo wants to do that too, Dan. They want to run the ball very well with James Cook.
They have. He's been one of the best players in the league. We talked about it on the preview last week that Cook was set up very well to dominate the Browns, and he did. And now you're going to be in a situation where do we see a little bit more of the Bills' attack playbook open up against the Eagles, or do they try to run a similar game plan? They're a weird offense to watch in that sometimes it feels a little conservative at times, the Bills' attack, and Josh Allen doesn't run quite as much as he has in prior years, and they don't throw downfield as much. That's a product a lot of who he has playing with, but they still can produce nuclear hot runs. And as you saw, especially against the Patriots, and then even into that Browns game, their first 3 drives, if I'm not mistaken, Mark, ended in touchdowns or scores.
I think Cook had 100 yards with minutes to go in the second quarter.
Right. So the offense is a little bit funky on a series-to-series basis, but they typically figure it out and have enough of those kind of streaks within a game to get to the 25 to 35 points. During this 4-game winning streak, they have 7 takeaways. So they're getting after the ball more, and we'll see if that is something they can do. Now, Jalen Hurts had that miserable performance when he had all the interceptions in prime time. He's been a much cleaner quarterback of late. This strikes me as a very even game and a really good measuring stick game for the Eagles, because like we've been saying on the show, like we knew they were going to take care of business against the have-nots of the NFC the last 2 weeks. Here's another measuring stick game, Connor. Like where do they, as we get closer to the playoffs, like how confident should we be in the defending champions? I know you're confident, Connor, because you had them all the way in the top 4, I believe, in your power rankings this week. Spanking the Bills in Buffalo, ending their division hopes, and announcing themselves as a team that could beat anybody, anywhere would be a big step forward, I think, organizationally.
Here's why I think this game suits Philadelphia, because, again, you mentioned it with the style of offense that Buffalo wants to play. They want to spread you out, but they want to keep it intermediate so that Josh Allen can move and that he can find open players. And that's really effective, especially effective against teams that don't tackle well. And with Philly, I mean, this defense is built on sound fundamentals. And as long as, and it's sort of like, the scheme will take care of itself, but it's more of like a who wants it game. And for Philly, it's like, do you want it bad enough to be able to block well enough up front to get Saquon Barkley? And I think Tank Bigsby should get more carries. He's been phenomenal. And on defense, do you want it bad enough to be able to just tackle in the miserable weather and bring down Josh Allen down after down after down? And sometimes it's as simple as that. And that's why I think, like, I mean, it's really up to Philly. It's a big Nick Sirianni game. It's a big Kevin Patullo game. Like, how jacked up and ready can you get these guys?
And it's meant to be rainy, apparently. Like I don't like weather reports on Wednesday before a Sunday, but that could affect things. My one thing about Buffalo is that, and why I sometimes don't have the faith in them that others do, is that they tend to once a month or in various weeks just no-show against weird teams and in weird places. Like, is there a no-show possibility still on this regular season schedule? I don't think so. I think they've grown and they've changed. This is a huge game for them at home. There's a lot on the line. I think they're going to show up. But the Bills have done that this season a couple of weeks where they're just like, you're the Bills. You don't look like them. Not this week.
And we talk about in a strange NFL season, almost every team has done that at points this season.
And so the
right?
Eagles.
So it's like, yeah, and certainly so the Eagles. I'll put it before we move on this one. I think one of the reasons I love this game is I think one of these teams could be Fugazi and will be maybe going home in the first round. And I could see one of these teams in the Super Bowl. I don't think they'll meet in the Super Bowl. I don't think both of these teams are for real. I think one's a fake. And we're going to find out. Maybe not this week, but maybe we get a little.
Well, I think we know which
glimpse.
one you would prefer be Fugazi, but we can.
Sure. I would love the Eagles to go up in flames. You know that. But
yes, we do.
My point is not colored by that at all, because
Right.
I think they could just as easily be playing in San Francisco in Super Bowl 60.
Right.
If they can get enough momentum going into the playoffs to start feeling themselves. Because remember, that's what happened last year too. Like they were like this engine that started warming, and by the time they got to the NFC title game, they were unstoppable. All right, let's move. Let's talk one other game in the late window. The number 30 New York Giants, 2-13, at the number 32 Raiders, 2-13.
Let's spend 20 to 25 minutes on this.
You know what's funny though, Sassy? It is the toilet bowl.
Yeah.
But it's enormously consequential for both of these teams, and really, like, the NFL at large. Whoever loses this game probably gets the number 1 pick in the draft. And if you're the Giants, you have a huge. You want to get Giants fans mad. If you have a Giants fan in your life that you just want to tweak a little bit on this Christmas Eve when you see him at the parties tonight or at Mass outside, he's shaking hands with Father Doyle, and then like, oh, by the way, Mike, you think the Giants should trade Jackson Dart and then take a quarterback with the first pick? They fucking love Jackson Dart. They're like, he's the one guy that we have faith in, and we got hope in this guy, and they can't f him up. It's like, so
guy's
if
a
you
nasal
really want
infection.
to take some air out of their balloon, be like, hey, I think maybe we should just trade Dart and take another quarterback. Piss off a Giants fan on this Christmas. I highly recommend it. Anyway, so yeah, the Raiders obviously are hunting for a quarterback. And if the Giants end up losing this game, sealing the number 1 pick, and they do keep Dart, which they obviously probably will, they're in position to sell off that first pick if they want for a bounty. A lot of different things can happen here, and let's listen to Max Crosby on wanting to win despite the toilet bowl, playing for the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about the pick. Like, to be honest, I don't play for that. I don't. That's not my job. My job is to be the best defensive end in the world, and that's what I focus on every day.
I love that guy.
I like the attitude. I mean, in a lost season, on a team that seems directionless, like, it is interesting because, to your Dart thing, like, teams that are like the Browns, the Titans, who also have a quarterback, like, if they occupy the top slots, it's like you're not taking a quarterback there. Someone's going to have to trade up with them. Like, it's just very interesting to see what will happen here, because the Raiders going number 1, if there is a quarterback out there that anyone wants at number 1. I don't know if that there definitely is this year too.
I got a feeling, I'm no college expert by any stretch, but Fernando Mendoza has all of the markings of the guy that starts like in November. He's like, oh, he's interesting. Then he wins the Heisman. It's like, oh, this guy's cool. Then he does the press conference where he was like, oh, what a class act this guy is. Then he has a good combine and everybody's like, oh my God, this guy's really good. And then by the time we get to the end of April, he's a golden god. I feel like he's going to get that quarterback treatment. And maybe Conor is. Maybe he actually is that prospect, or maybe is not. But I feel pretty strongly that he's going to be minted by the time we get to the draft.
So my buddy Burt Breer, who we do the pod over at Sports Illustrated together, he got an early Jared Goff comp from Mendoza, which makes sense. Like, if you look at his play style, it is Goffian.
Another number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, another number 1 overall pick. And so I don't think that's setting the bar too high. Again, you need to get into a good offense. But if I'm both of these teams, I don't know if it was, I think the Olympics like 3 or 4 times ago, there was like a Taiwanese badminton match where both teams refused to hit the shuttlecock, because had they lost, they got into a better spot in the losers bracket, and so both teams just literally stood there like arms.
Nobody
to
wanted
their
to
side.
spank the cock. Nobody wanted to do it. That's terminology
well
within
said,
that
Dan.
sport. Yes.
And so if you're the Giants, right, you need that bounty, because you have to rebuild an entire offensive line. And so most of an offensive line. And so you need that number 1 pick, because you need to fall back ideally with the Jets, Dan, if they're number 2 or number 3. Mm-hmm. And then you still get a premium pick, and you're still getting at least 2 firsts from that. And if you're the Raiders, I mean, you have no choice but to draft a quarterback at this point. I mean, this is so this game is going to be fascinating from that regard. The Eagles have done it, right? Like, the Eagles have done it. They have actively tanked for a draft pick. Everyone ripped them apart, and then it set off this chain reaction of events that ended up getting them like 3 excellent players. It works, and so sometimes
right. Well, it helps to have Howie Roseman,
sure,
flipping the levers.
Absolutely.
Get me a Roseman. Send me to the Poconos, and I'll bring back a Roseman for the Jets. No, I don't need that. I got Darren Muji.
Yeah, you're set.
Just absolutely fleecing people all across the NFL. All right, let's take a break. And when we get back, that is, by the way, the only 2 late games in Week 17. When we get back, we take a look at the Saturday schedule. All right, we roll forward. Saturday games, once again, I love Saturday games, and these are some good ones. Let's start with the number 9 Texans, 10-5, traveling to SoFi Stadium to face the number 11 Chargers. 9-11 matchup. Put it on the board. Eisen and Warner on NFL Network. A game with massive implications. Justin, you're going to be our Carnecki. Put on your Dockers and your brown shoes that are functional but somewhat stylish, and tell us what it means, this game, for both teams.
Yeah, both teams pursuing either the 1 seed for the Chargers or the division, and thus a home playoff game if you're the Texans. And both teams need to win out to achieve that, unless their other opponents go 0-2 over these last 2 weeks. This is a huge game for both teams. Both have a lot at stake. Like I said, Chargers still after the 1 seed, Texans still after the division. So both got to win.
Well said, Justin. And does anybody else think that Karnecki is a potential like sexual deviant, like a real freak?
Yeah.
Big time.
Do you remember? Oh God,
like a demon twink, or I don't know what category he would fall under.
A what? A demon twink?
Just like these are different things that he could be. I'm not saying he is, but just like keep an eye on it on this Christmas Eve.
Do you remember
Keep an eye
Ken
peeled.
Bone?
Ken Bone, I do remember that name. Who was that again?
He had like the Christmassy red sweater, and he asked a question during the Clinton-Trump debate.
That's
and
right.
Everyone was like, "What an adorable guy!" And then they found his Reddit post history, and they were like, "Jesus Christ!"
Yeah.
There was
in
some
the bone
dangerous
zone.
stuff on there. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you guys, somebody Mark might know in Hollywood.
Well, I do not consort with these individuals.
It's like
that you're discussing.
the Epstein list where there's all these photos, like, oh shit, and then all of a sudden you see like a Sessler and the Bone Zone hanging out together on Hollywood and Vine. It's like, we got to redact that.
You are off the reservation in terms of these accusations of multiple people over the last couple of minutes.
None of this is. I'm not saying any of these things happened. It's just possible that Karnecki is a freak. Anyway, go ahead on the game, somebody.
I will say one from like a pretty granular level, but like we know the Chargers have been missing their tackles for eons and they're surviving, but Mekhi Becton has a knee injury and did not practice on Tuesday. Jamari Salyer also did not practice on Tuesday. So no matter what, they're going to be not at 100% if they can play at all. It's like this line couldn't go through any more at this point. And yet Justin Herbert is playing the best football we've seen from him in a long, long time under this coaching staff. And so it's like they're going to find a way, but I don't love that situation against the most ferocious, bloodthirsty defensive front in football.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. This is going to be such a good matchup because both teams have this strength that's going to be able to outmuscle and outwill the other team's glaring weakness. What I want to see is just how much Jesse Minter can tip the scales against this Stroud offense, because while there's been progress, I think the progress is in the fact that Stroud's being put in a position where he's comfortable. It's a lot of medium to short range completions over the middle of the field. They're getting him into his rhythm, and Minter's not going to let you do that. He's going to study the scripts over the last few weeks, and that's why you can never really get an advantage with a quarterback like this. So we'll see what happens. But I think Minter is going to be the one that might kind of pull the string out from under this one.
Josh Allen did more than totally me on fantasy semifinal weekend against the Browns. He also, I think, removed himself from the MVP conversation with a 0 touchdown game in week 16. It opens the door up. I think Stafford is the favorite, or that's just in my opinion. I think Drake May is in the conversation. Justin Herbert's not going to. And by the way, again, Romo, who says 7 things a telecast now that just drive me crazy. He opens that Lions game. He's like, to me, Jared Goff's an MVP candidate. It's like, what? Just enough, Tony. Like, think before you talk. What is happening to you? Anyway, Justin Herbert might not statistically be quite there to win this award.
I got it, I swear. I promise.
But watching the Chargers games, watching how their season is played out, watching what he's overcome, both from a personal standpoint, injury-wise, to what's around him. Here's a stat. Despite the second worst graded offensive line in the NFL, the Chargers rank 10th in points per drive. And that, I think that is such a symbol of Herbert's excellence and what he's been able to do this season, and how I think he is, even though maybe the stats aren't there and he's not going to win a trophy, I think he has taken the next step as a quarterback and put himself firmly in that conversation of who is the best guy in the league. And for that reason, between the way this team is coached, the way this team plays defense, the way this team buttons down in crunch time, and now they have this dude running the offense, I think this is a different Chargers team than we've seen in many, many years. And I'm going to pick them almost every week to maybe go on the run. Like,
Yeah,
I'm in on the Chargers.
They feel different. We've felt the same way about the Chargers and their bizarre game-ending gaffes and kind of this curse that felt, draped over them. They feel completely different, and it has a lot to do with Harbaugh, obviously. I think Greg Roman has found a way to coach this offense up we're not post Greg Roman yet in this world, where I feel like he runs his welcome out with certain teams. And you're right, Justin Herbert is playing. I don't care about the numbers, and I don't care about the MVP thing. He's playing as well as he's ever played. He's always made those throws that everyone is like salivating over. But it's different this time. It just feels different. Do you think it matters that less than a year ago, Justin Herbert under Jim Harbaugh faced the Texans in a playoff game and threw 4 interceptions and was sacked 4 times? Does that matter, or is that inconsequential?
A game that happened a year ago? No. I mean, I guess you can.
It's a lot of the same people, though. That's all.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. And I know he talked about this week, that he still thinks about that game. I just think he's, like I said, a better quarterback now than he's ever been. And I think he'll play much better in this game. And that's why I like the Chargers to win. They're kind of like very similar teams. I would bang the under on this. I don't know what it is, Justin, but I feel like this has got 20-16 written all over it. Let's see what happens. Oh, by the way, Justin, on this Christmas Eve, can you, I know Mark knows this, but Connor wants to know what a demon twink is.
Well, according to Google AI Overview, a, quote, demon twink combines twink, a young, slim, boyish-looking gay man, with demon, evil, mischievous, or intensely driven, suggesting a sexually alluring, mischievous, or perhaps sinisterly attractive young man, often used in online fandom contexts like roleplay, art, or social media for characters or individuals embodying both youthful beauty and dark, wicked traits, rather than a literal supernatural entity.
Let's put some Christmas music under that in post. Any questions, Connor?
Wait, the over-under in Texans-Chargers is 39.5 points.
Don't bury the lead.
Yeah, Barry, I'm banging the under on that. Don't listen to me, but like that's what I would do if I had to wager on a game. Which
Connor will be at Mass in an hour and a half thinking about demon twinks, which is a confusing clash of ideologies.
All right, here's the other Saturday game. It's Saturday night. Peacock and NBC and the NFL were really pumped that this was going to be a game that matters, and it still does, but listen, the bloom is off the rose on the Baltimore Ravens. Number 16 in the power rankings, now 7-8 after that hyper disappointing loss to the Patriots. They travel to Lambeau Field, and here are the Packers. They get another primetime game and a chance to kind of move forward after one of the worst losses any team suffered this season when they collapsed in the final 2 minutes against the Bears. The number 12 Packers 9-5-1. If the Packers beat the Ravens Saturday, Mark, then Pittsburgh wins the AFC North, and in theory, we'll get to it, they could rest some key players against the Browns. And, you know, the timing of this matters. It's Saturday, so we'll know if the AFC North is up for grabs when we wake up on Sunday morning. Do the Ravens have it in them? Now, you would think, shit, they're on the road. That's bad, but they lost a whole bunch of games at home this year. So maybe sending them on the road as, I would assume, an underdog and putting them in that position, you get like this cornered animal game and the Ravens show you something. But I don't even know if they're going to have Lamar in this game.
Yeah, I think we're probably going with Tyler Huntley. To the playing at home thing, it's the rare season. This has been one of the worst Ravens seasons in their history. That's how good of a team they've been since they arrived in, 96? They're getting booed at home, so maybe it is better to go on the road. I don't like the idea of playing in Green Bay at night, but it sounds like Jordan Love might appear in this. Malik Willis is also available if needed, and I just don't like Baltimore's chances. I think they've fallen apart as a team. I really do. I know that like Derrick Henry ran the ball pretty well a couple weeks ago, but the one thing that gets lost in Green Bay's loss to the Bears was that Jeff Hafley's defense, with 59 minutes and 30 seconds into the game, had given up 9 points. Then it all fell apart. Like this is a good, solid, real defense that's going to handle a Ravens team that lacks focus, direction, or a central core at this point in the season.
Here's the one thing though, like the Lamar Jackson is a big question. It's a back injury. It's a significant bruise or something like that. And
contusion or something.
Contusion, and it's like I'm never going to question any guy's toughness in the NFL, but it just been this year for Lamar Jackson. It's like he can't get through a game or even a practice week without something new happening to him. It's just like one of those years. Unless you got to get on the field here. You got to find a way to get on the field. Unless it's something like there's more to it. If there's a cracked rib or some, like, get on the field, dude. Like, try to save your season, save your team, because they do have against the Patriots, Connor. Before Lamar went out, I thought they looked very crisp early on. Derrick Henry ran the ball great in that game, and Harbaugh did a terrible job, and the offense did a terrible job getting away from him in crunch time when they collapse. There was still the DNA of a team that could win a game like this in Green Bay. But the problem with the Ravens is they don't put games together. They don't play 60 minutes anymore, and that's what's haunted them this year.
I feel like I can say this because I sustained a deep bone bruise in my hand and blogged through an entire Sunday a few weeks ago. I do think that there's going to be a referendum on this, because we brought this up a couple of weeks ago. There has been, and I'm not saying it's right, but Justin Herbert playing through a broken hand or wrist, Aaron Rodgers playing through a broken hand or wrist, Carson Wentz playing through the separated shoulder.
Dan Hanzus playing with two black eyes. Go on.
Dan Hanzus playing with two black eyes. And then who was it? Minshew did a couple drives with a torn ACL.
It's not torn, actually. It turns out it wasn't torn, but it was, he escaped that. But go on.
So I think that if you look at whatever you want to call it, those kind of any kind of quarterback that is that stalwart person in the lineup, and even the guys who aren't, the guys who are scrounging at the bottom, that's the common thread, is like, I have to be out there, man. Jaden Daniels trying to play in meaningless minutes and ends up snapping his wrist. And like, yes, there's bad things that happen, but like the availability is what's attractive, and it sucks, but that's part of the position. There is like a martyrdom that is associated with that job.
Look at Emmitt Smith with that famous game where he's playing with broken ribs in a critical tilt against the Giants. It's heroic.
It's a very tricky conversation to have when you're a journalist or a football podcaster, but like, for instance, Josh Allen sustained a foot injury last week against the Browns. We didn't even bring it up in the preview, because even though it's a legitimate injury that he's being treated for, Josh Allen's playing on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like, man, Lamar, like, get out there, dude. Find a way. Put on a flak jacket. Put on another flak jacket and see if you can keep your team alive one more week. And I know Ravens fans might think this is attacking him and calling him soft or whatever, but like, I think you guys know what we're talking about. It's like, I don't know, man. Right. Sometimes like, when you're the superstar and you're the 2-time MVP, find a way to get out there.
Like, would Demon Twink play? Yes.
Demon Twink's always down to play. Here's John Harbaugh, by the way, earlier this week talking about his job security. It's funny how it passed over. Mike Tomlin was like, and Tomlin, I have so much respect for Tomlin, for a guy that has seen and done it all. And did anyone handle the controversy around his job security better than Mike Tomlin? The way he deflected it, the way any question about him, he just turned it back around and was like, yeah, well, we got to play better as a team. And, whatever it takes, the fans they're allowed to say that. And like, it never mushroomed because Tomlin handled it perfectly. Let's see how Harbaugh handles the same assignment of some people thinking it's time for him to go after a long run in the AFC North.
Do you anticipate being here next year?
Yeah. Thanks for asking that question, Bo. Well, first of all,
thanks for asking.
That's good. It's a great question. I mean, it's a sport. It's just how it works, and you try to do the best. I try to do the job, not try to keep the job.
Okay. But what do we give him on a grade on that one?
A minus. A.
I think.
Is that going to cost them, Connor? I don't know if that was Jamison Hensley. I have no idea who asked the question, but is that going to cost that reporter access or any type of thing, or do you think that Harbaugh sees it as fair play?
Wait, before you answer, let me just reveal some extra context. I cut out the boring part where he gave the very standard, everyone has to do their job and get all these players ready to play. That's what being a coach is. So like, I cut to the interesting parts just for context.
Okay. Connor.
Yeah, there's no question that, and the thanks for that question is the tenured coach's version of go yourself, right?
Right.
And so I think that the reporter probably knew that, and that's why you heard the quick qualification of a lot of people are asking. I just have to ask, and yes, and you do have to ask, but it's one of those. It's a very delicate balance where if you're on a beat, it's almost like you got to take turns where it's like, all right, I'll come in here and I'll do this today, and then you can do it tomorrow, and then he can do it the next day.
It's like Samini and Costello and Orr looking at each other. It's like, all right, who's going to do it this time? I'll do it next time. Yeah.
Speaking of very quickly, but Costello's
the beat reporter for the New York Jets.
For the New York Jets. Yeah. Greatest press conference question of all time that I forget what Super Bowl it was, but Belichick just comes in rosy, and he gets to the podium, and it's that first big press conference with 900 people at it, and he's telling old stories, and he's lighting up because Jerry Eisenberg is their legendary Newark columnist who I used to work with, had been to every Super Bowl and had covered Bill when he was with Parcells.
Guys, yep.
So they're chatting it up and yucking it up, and then Brian just raises his hand, gets the microphone, and just goes, "Do you feel like Spygate's tainted your legacy?" And just the lights come down in the room. It's "F you, everybody," and then it's exit stage left. And so Brian, I give a lot of credit for it because he has the post moves. He can bang around in the paint, and he's not afraid of what's going to happen. Right. And so you need people like that.
You got Costello'd.
Absolutely. So we'll see if the Ravens have Snoop Huntley back there. All due respect, I thought he played well in relief of Lamar on Sunday. I think they're cooked. But just as a fan, let's see if Lamar's out there trying to save the Ravens season at Lambeau Field and the Packers. Let's see if they can shake off a brutal loss. All right, let's move to the early games, and to do that on Sunday, and to do that, where we got to go. I'm a little worried, a little nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Quad box.
Tony, take a look at that. It's really tight. That is so tight. Next level trickeration.
God rest his soul was O.J. Simpson.
We're actually doing what we're calling a batch party.
Somebody's coming after me.
Dope as hell.
If Aaron Glenn gets his ass blown out,
just like the little metal thing.
Me sick in my balls.
Now just sit back and watch the powder keg explode.
He's on his and I'm just a beacon or like a vessel on his team, and the guys get behind me. I talk a lot of junk.
Group of dogs playing poker.
I'm having fun playing football.
How artful this is.
Good for you! This team is DTF, Jim.
Put on your socks and tune in.
That is super tight.
Of course, the mythical Pike Haken.
Hey, NFL fans, Kathy Bates here.
Or
50 seconds.
What the fuck? 50 seconds long.
There seemed to be a little bit of a disturbance in the force there. Check it out on YouTube. This has been my concern all along, that maybe this is too much and what it could mean. And I don't know. There was some fraying around the edges there. Is the center going to hold in Week 18 on the quad box?
Yeah, I think you said it well. There was a chaotic element to it. I felt a little bit of a dark eroticism at times with some of the repeated lines. So this is part of Justin's handiwork. I don't know.
Yeah, it was
where
almost
Justin's
like Justin
mindset
popped
is
open
at.
the gas tank and threw in a couple Demon Twinks and mixed it up.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everybody. All right, quad box. Get us going. Who do we want to start with? Let's give the layup to Justin. You did such great work for us, including on that quad box. Why don't you start us off?
All right, I'll take the biggest implication game for all of us to watch on our Quad Box Sunday. The number 2 Seattle Seahawks, 12-3, still vying for that bye. Number 2 in the power rankings, number 1 seed right now. At number 15, Carolina Panthers, 8-7, sitting atop the NFC South for now. A 1 p.m. Eastern game on CBS with Ian Eagle and J.J. Watt. Both teams trying to stay on top of where they are. Gotta win again.
Should we? I feel like the subhead on this is, should we take the Carolina Panthers seriously? Because if we do, ostensibly this is a good game and a game that should be close, because the Panthers have played well overall in the back half of this season. They control their destiny. They are a first-place team. Again, they're at home. So there's no reason this game shouldn't be competitive unless they actually do suck and they're in a bad division. And now here comes the big bad Seattle Seahawks to, in kind of like the Mark mode, like send the teams that don't really matter where they belong toward the infinite abyss and just establish that, yeah, there's only 8 to 10 teams that matter. The Seahawks are one of them. The Panthers are another that don't. Or conversely, the Panthers show up in a big spot, Mark, and we're looking at them a little bit different. Those are the stakes here.
They reflect, I think, so much of this regular season where we just have come to the conclusion that they're unpredictable. Like, I think they can give Seattle a fight. I love hearing that there is a chance that Robert Hunt, their offensive lineman, who is a super talent, might be back. That helps a lot. But I think they're well coached. They kind of feel like a team that's a year away from being something like the next version of what Dave Canales is going to do with this team. But you're getting, maybe it's every other week, or maybe it's quarters or halves at a time, Bryce Young playing really well at times. And Ted McMillan, I think, is a really good wide receiver. It's like, can they find a way to hang against a Seattle defense that's really hard to diagnose, tough to puncture on any level? And is Bryce Young ready for that challenge? Because it's like, that to me is the best unit in this entire game is Seattle's defense. And it's really rough to try to figure it out and to play your best game against. I think that's the challenge. I don't care if it's in Carolina or Seattle. Like, that's the level to me. And is Bryce Young ready for this moment? It would be a big step if he was.
Are you guys ready to have your minds blown?
Sure.
Bryce Young, this via Panthers Nation. What about the Panthers podcast that was in the news? Like, it was too sad to be a Panthers podcast.
Yeah, well, they quit. They canceled the show.
You got to maybe get back online, guys.
No, they literally they went on a 3-game winning streak, and then they just popped back in like nothing happened. And,
okay.
That's not a good look.
So Meow
right?
Mix is back. They're rolling.
Welcome back, Meow Mix. Anyway, I don't know why that popped in my head, but don't quit your podcast because the team's bad. You got to stick it out. There's plenty of good content even when the team's bad. Anyway, via Panthers Nation, Bryce Young, since he was benched in 2024, 5,208 total yards, 42 touchdowns, 15 picks, 91.3 passer rating, 10 game-winning drives. And he's set the franchise single game passing yards record. You know, Cam Newton won an MVP on this team. Those are like big time stats. It's a guy. Those are the stats of a guy that went number 1 overall. And yet, Connor, do we believe that Bryce Young and this Panthers offense is ready for this challenge? I think it might be like the most important game in the history of Bryce Young's NFL career, and as well as Dave Canales.
I don't think there's any question. And I want to demystify this stat a little bit. We talk about success rate in the NFL, okay? And basically what that means is if you're talking about rushing success rate, are you getting 40% of the yardage you need on first down, 60% on second down, and then are you converting on third and fourth down? That's what success rate means. Over the last 5 weeks of the season, Seattle has the lowest, or they have the best success rate against the run in the NFL. Only 34% of the time are teams getting the yardage they need in every down when they're running the football. If you yank that out from underneath Carolina's offense, and we've seen Bryce play good with bad Dowdle games and Chuba Hubbard games and all that kind of stuff, but Bryce has to be so perfect. And we've seen Phillip Rivers do it, right? Where you just have to make so many good compounding decisions against this team, and then your defense has to play lights out in order to play close. But you're right. This has to be a perfect Bryce Young game because I think he's going to get his run game yanked out from underneath him.
All right. On the Seattle side, I'm going to say that John Schneider doesn't get enough credit. John Schneider's been around a long time. Yeah. John Schneider won a Super Bowl. I remember being in that locker room after they blew out the Broncos and his shirt was off and he was wearing a championship belt. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. This guy's a rock star. Why did I say that? Don't ever say that again. Let's take that out in post. Dan, never say that guy's a rock star. Ever.
Good self-edit.
But anyway, here's a good fact via Reddit. He made 4 significant player acquisitions this year going into 2025. Darnold, Cooper Kupp, edge DeMarcus Lawrence via free agency, and then traded for Rashid Shaheed at the deadline. 3 of those 4 guys were named to the Pro Bowl this week, Darnold, Lawrence, and Shaheed. And Kupp has been a very serviceable number 2/3 receiver who's been a dude for them. That's awesome. That's how you take your team from where they were last year, which was a team that was inconsistent but showed signs. And by the way, they hired the right head coach too, which isn't all the GM, but he played a big role in that as well. And then you take a good team and you supplement it with proven guys and guys that have you can see have an ability to level up like Shaheed. And you got a Super Bowl contender. So shout out John Schneider.
My favorite, I had a random run-in with
You're
John
a rock star, bro. No!
Yes. He is, though. This is... there's like a coolness to him. So I was at some tentpole NFL event. I think it might have been the Combine or the Senior Bowl or something like this, right? And so there's like 10 football people trying to use the bathroom in this one place, and I'm next in line, and I really have to go to the bathroom. And Schneider just walks in the door, looks at me, and then goes, "Hey, bud, there's no one in that stall over there, I bet. Knock on the door." And like, because I didn't think about knocking on the stall.
Major alpha energy there.
Yeah.
And bathroom scenario.
So then I look, and I actually look underneath the thing, and then there's no one there. So I open the door. I was like, "Wow, thanks." And he just goes like this, and you have to watch it on YouTube. He just goes, he snaps and points, and then that's it.
Fonzie
and I was like,
here.
"Damn it, that's cool!" Like, you know, just
then he did the back
immediately
kick and the
solved the
jukebox
problem.
turned on.
Yeah, just immediately diagnosed the problem and solved it. Yeah.
So he's wearing his little backpack. I love him.
I do.
He's a delight.
All right, let's move on. Next up in the quad box, Sestog.
All right. I don't want to be penalized for this because I'm going with what I actually want to watch, which is the number 13 Steelers at the number 29 Browns. Nance and Romo. Now, to your
13
point,
Steelers against 29 Browns. Okay.
there's not a lot to pick from on this in this quad world here.
Okay.
There really isn't.
I'm just waiting to see if Justin brings the hammer or not. I'm not saying he should. I'm just saying.
No.
What?
No,
he's not.
Merry
he's not.
Christmas,
Don't worry.
Mark.
You're clear.
Thank you, Justin.
I mean, we're going to see the NFL
wonderful.
sack record being broken.
Yeah,
possibly.
I mean, it comes down to that. There is a delicious little twist, which we were texting about yesterday, that if
I'm going to get my sack back.
The Ravens crumble and the Steelers win the division, and they do sit, which would make sense, in Aaron Rodgers, that of all people, Myles Garrett could set the sack record against Mason Rudolph, who he hit with a helmet
He
many years
physically
back.
assaulted him and then slandered him as well without any evidence to back the slander. Ask Damashek about this. Ask Damashek.
I have discussed this with him.
If you want to get like, all right, I'll give you another thing. If you want to get your Giants friends pissed off, say they should trade Jackson Dart and draft a quarterback. If you want to piss off a Steelers fan, say, wow, this is a good chance for Myles Garrett to get revenge on Mason Rudolph.
That is not even a Browns fan would say that. But
yeah, no, but I mean, that was an unfortunate incident for all parties involved, but it's in play because there's no reason to play Aaron Rodgers if you're locked in as AFC North winner. So this game gets significantly less interesting if Mason Rudolph's playing. And then the only thing is the sack record, which Mark, you pointed out. I know you're sensitive about it. I understand. You love your Browns. You don't want this to go to week 18 because then you can get Roger Maris. And if you know what that means, Roger Maris in 1961 set the home run record, breaking Babe Ruth's record that he had set with 60. But Ruth hit 60 in 154 games in 1927. And then Maris hit his 61st on the last day of the season. But by then, the schedule had expanded to 162. So it's an apples to apples comparison. You don't want anything. You don't want any asterisks connected to this. This is the game where Myles Garrett has to take down the QB of the Steelers, whomever it is, and make history.
And it's the Steelers, right? So, I mean, that adds an element to it. We do have to live with the fact that, like, records are going to be broken in the final week of a season where there's an extra game. Like, it's just life. But I think with this specific sack record one, like, yeah, I totally want it to happen now. I think it's going to. I think it's just simply going to happen, and I want eyes on it. It's like it's one of the last. We've got a Jets fan here, a Titans fan here, an agnostic, and a Browns fan, and like there isn't much to care about or cling to. This is one of the few things that have happened for Browns fans in a very long time. I can think of nothing more depressing than if he didn't get this done over the course of the next two games. Get it done.
Oh, yeah. I hope he does, buddy. I hope for you that he does. Let's move on. Up next on the quad box, I will grab. It is pretty grim here. I will. Let's be quick on these last two. The number 4 Jaguars 11-4 at the number 21 Colts 8-7. Davis Olsen on the call. I think I saw in my periphery, Conor threw up his hands because he's frustrated because now he has to make a pick outside of this game, and that's going to put him in a bad spot on the quad
week
box.
We're just setting me up to battle with Justin.
We're back here.
I've already got enough going on today. I don't need this shit.
Yeah, we got to get you to Mass, so let's go through this. The Jags, it's all in front of them, right? And they're coming off a fantastic performance in Denver that opened eyes. That's why they're number 4 in our power rankings, because now they showed they can go on the road and beat a team like the Broncos on an 11-game winning streak in their building. They could withstand a couple haymakers and then just overwhelm their opponent, both offensively and defensively. And I am converted now. I'm converted on the Trevor Lawrence's fix thing. I'm converted on Liam Cohen is the latest boy genius to land in exactly the right spot. I was thinking about that. Remember how he hemmed and hawed Cohen, like he was going to stay in Tampa as the OC, and then he was looking around for a job. Let me know, Connor, if I this up. But he was looking around for a job, and then he told the Bucs that he was going to stay, and then a couple days passed, and then he's like, actually, I'm going to go coach Trevor Lawrence, and kind of left him high and dry a little bit. Do I have that more or less right?
Yeah, so the Bucs made him like an out of the universe offer to stay and be the offensive coordinator, like the highest paid offensive coordinator in the league kind of offer. And I think probably the undertone of that was like one day you can just rise up and take the head coaching job. And then I think he went to interview under the idea that like I just want to get the reps, and then once the Jaguars were like, well, we'll fire Trent Baalke too, it was like, this job is going to be interesting.
I think Shad Khan had a good impact on all that whole thing too. I mean, he didn't give up on Cohen.
And we also at the time, I remember talking about like, oh, is this even an amazing job? Is Trevor Lawrence the guy that we thought everything worked out perfectly. And by the way, the Bucs really screwed it up because they just should have fired Bowles and promoted the guy in the first place, as it turns out. But my point being, it worked, and they beat up on bad teams at points this season as they've gotten hot, like when they lit up the Jets for 6 touchdowns, Lawrence. But doing it in Denver and looking as locked in and like completely comfortable in this offense, and then having a defense that was able to close out that game. I love this Jaguars team, and I guess Phillip Rivers playing in this game would be fun. We talked about it on Monday, Connor, like is Phil Rivers, does it make sense for Rivers to play anymore? This is a Colts home game. Let's not sleep on this. I listened to a lot of Mike Francesa growing up, and Francesa's like, yeah, of course Rivers is going to play. They need people in that building. The Ursays, if they start that kid, Riley Leonard, nobody's going to the building. It's going to be a ghost town. So maybe for box office alone, you get one more Rivers start at the very least. And so it's a fun game, even if the Jaguars are heavy favorites.
The only thing you messed up in the Francesa thing was there's no way he would have drilled the name Riley Leonard. He would have either said he would have either
Notre
said,
Dame kid.
Yeah, the kid from Notre Dame, or he would have said like he would have said, I don't know, it's like a girl's name. It's like Kelsey Leonard or something. I don't know.
Nobody can.
Yeah. But this shouldn't be the Colts, obviously, are a team could not stop a nosebleed against San Francisco on Monday night, Mark, as we talked about. And you would imagine at this point, given the trauma this team has suffered over the last 5 weeks during this losing streak, the Jaguars might just keep rolling. Will the punter even get on the field type thing? It
was pretty insane to watch what Shanahan did against this Colts defense. And it's been a disaster. I mean, outside of Rivers being an inspiring human to watch, like the Sauce Gardner trade right now looks like an abject, huge mess. It's just a complete mess. Very few teams need to go away and restart their season in the way that the Colts do. So I think this is a great spot for Trevor Lawrence to keep the train going. And it's just encouraging and kind of, we've been waiting for it to watch him play quarter after quarter the way he's playing.
Phil Rivers was mic'd up for sound on Monday night. If you haven't seen it, go seek it out. Here's a little bit of that.
Hey, that's bullcrap. That's bullcrap. Don't start that. Hey, don't start that mess.
Rivers has a free shot, throws into the end zone. Touchdown!
Boom!
Let's stink and go is amazing. Who talks like this?
Do we think he's cleaning it up now that he knows that like all the kids are watching, or like
Dadgummit.
Are we really believing that he never?
I believe it because we have 20 years of NFL Films footage and never a curse word uttered.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
By
he's
the way,
pretty spiritual, religious.
And I don't mean this I'm not making fun of his body type because we could all work on our bods, right? But that alternate uniform was not flattering on his frame. That dark blue Colts alt uniform really showed off the dad bod in a different way than we had seen in his previous appearance.
He's owning it at least.
Yeah.
There was a woman with the sign, I love the dad bod. So,
yeah. All right, one more game, Connor. Let's spin through it. Give the people what they need.
Okay, I'm doing this because I texted Justin and I had like an element prepared for it. And all the rest of these games are trash. So I'm taking the number 23 Saints against the number 28 Titans. The Saints are on a winning streak. Over the last 5 weeks of the season, they've been like the best defense in the NFL. And Justin, if you want to fly this tweet up, this is the only reason I picked this game. It's one of my favorite things ever. Jeff Duncan, who's a legend, who's covered the Saints forever, said, "Some folks have asked me about Taysom Hill's Hall of Fame worthiness.
What?
And unless something changes, he will not be eligible for candidacy. To be considered for the Hall of Fame, a player must have, quote, at least one recognized postseason honor like All-Pro or Pro Bowl." Who, and this is with all due respect to Taysom Hill, is writing to a professional journalist and asking about Taysom Hill's chances of getting into the Pro Bowl?
I have a guess. Taysom Hill's
Cheryl
mom.
Hill. Right.
Taysom Hill's high school girlfriend. I mean, what?
Some folks. So it's multiple people. Some folks on Percocet. But
I guess the only thing I'll say to that is none of us are Saints fans. None of us live down by the bayou. So we don't have that thing, right, where a guy just feels like a very important figure in the team's history, and then you kind of, man, it is pouring in Los Angeles right now.
I know.
I can hear that.
The power doesn't go
Yeah,
out.
it's wild.
Yummy.
That maybe he's inflated. Like, sorry, I do this too often, but I love the Yankees. Like Brett Gardner. Yankee fans love Brett Gardner. And there's some idiot in Queens or the Bronx that's like, Brett Gardner should probably be in Cooperstown. It's like, no, he was a great player for our team, and we loved the way he played, and he was a hard-nosed grinder and had nice moments, but he's not a Hall of Famer. I think that's probably what that's about. He's a beloved local athlete, and that will skew vision for people.
I think the Browns fans had that with like a Josh Cribbs who changed so many games, but it's hard to categorize
or
him.
even Bernie Kosar, our buddy. Like Kosar is a guy that, like there's certain guys that are just they're beloved, even if nationally or internationally they don't have the same.
Kenny
appeal.
O'Brien.
No,
I know.
No, not Ken. All right, let's see. You know who was like that? Nick Mangold. Who passed away this year.
Yes.
Like a beloved Jet, and maybe not a Hall of Famer, but like a guy that like you just
I could see him
rooted for him
being worthy of that. But yeah, you're right.
But now he's gone, and that was really shitty. All right. Anything on this game before we move on? It is I think, Justin, like,
You want me to preview this game like in 30 seconds?
Yeah, go ahead, do it.
All right, Saints, Connor said it. Brandon Staley's got this defense playing really well. Combined, these two teams have won 5 of their last 6 games. It's a good measuring stick because they're kind of in a similar situation where it's like, we know we're not competitive, but we're rebuilding. We want to get something going for next year. Obviously, the Saints a little ahead because they have Ellen Moore, and the Titans are still looking for their head coach. But it's a Cam Ward versus Tyler Shuck, rookie QB matchup, the two best rookie QBs. Sorry, Jackson Dart. Let's see if there's any fireworks in this game. I'm kind of excited for it, actually.
Wow. We're really trying to piss off the Giants fans now. All right, good one. Good setup there. All right, let's take a break, and then we'll hit the primetime games. All right, we are back. Great Sunday night football game. It's the number 6 Bears, 11-4, at the number 7 49ers, 11-4. I like an alt universe where... Thank you, Carrie. I like an alt universe here where this is the NFC Championship game. And here's the preview right here. Because the Bears are a team of destiny, it feels like, the way they've been playing. And the Niners are revved up. I talked about it on the Monday night recap that Brock Purdy at his top level is just like, it's hard to be better than Brock Purdy is when he's locked in. His PFF grade for that game on Monday night was better than any PFF grade by any quarterback this season. It was like 92.5 or something, which is almost unheard of. So that's the Brock Purdy that you're getting in this game, and the Bears have to find a way to somehow neutralize that. Here's Trent Williams, by the way, talking about how awesome a locked-in Brock Purdy can be.
When you're in that huddle, it's only one voice speaking,
yes,
right?
Trent.
And you got
10
grown men staring at you. And, you can't fool grown men, right? And the confidence that he has in that huddle, no matter what phase of the game, those long play calls, just getting everybody where they need to be. He from A to Z, he does it at a really high level. And I say it all the time, he's a godsend, man, for us to get him where we got him. And obviously he's getting what he deserved now, but, you can't even tell he's still the same guy. Still the same guy from his rookie year. And he's just a baller, man.
The 49ers have not punted. So their punter has not come onto the field since November 30th. It is
Crazy.
Christmas Eve. That's
crazy.
insane.
What a gig,
insane.
by the way.
Holy shit.
What a gig.
Now there's there's bye week, there's stuff combined in there, but Brock's warmed up, baby. He's been playing the best football he's played all year by far.
I think also Trent Williams is playing as well as he's ever played, and he's 38 or something. CMC played a really good game. I kind of keep forgetting about the Niners. I think I mentioned this on Monday night, that they've just been hanging around and winning games, but they won with such an emphasis on their offense against the Colts and tore them up in such a perfect way. I would love to see them show up against this Bears team. I think it's a meaningful big moment for San Francisco at home to fend off a Bears team that has broken NFL history by winning 6 games that they trailed in the last 2 minutes. That's what the Bears feel like to me every week. And it's coaching, and it's Ben Johnson, and it's scheming, and it's complete belief in what they're doing on a week-to-week basis. No matter what hole they get into, the Bears find a way out. And it's the same locker room speech week after week. You've got to turn that away if you're San Francisco somehow.
I have no doubts that the 49ers show up in this game. They're showing up, and the 49ers are at home, and they're going to be scoring points. It's the Bears that this is a big test game for the Bears because I'm not converted on the Bears being a Super Bowl contender yet. But here's a game, another major measuring stick game. If you go to San Francisco and you play this game tight to the end, even if you don't win, you can earn, not that it matters to the Chicago Bears, but you earn my respect. And I'm sure other people out there that are these have been great wins. They've been great stories. We love seeing the reactions in Soldier Field when Caleb Williams throws that walk-off touchdown. But how about we send you to San Francisco in primetime against a red-hot Niners team that is just mowing down opponents right now? I'd like to see it. Here's Caleb Williams opening up on how long it took him to figure out the Ben Johnson offense.
It took me a while. It took me, throughout camp. At certain parts, felt like our relationship was pretty fragile. Fragile at certain points from my perspective. It's geez, this dude, doesn't seem like he likes me. He doesn't have to like me. That's what you kind of realize. But at that point also, and to that extent, you start figuring out that's just him.
Wow, I like that. That's funny. That's I really like Caleb Williams, his personality, and as a player. He's another great. They nailed that pick. They really did. But bonus points on this Christmas Eve for dropping a fragile, a reference to A Christmas Story, the old man
trying
to read
answer.
the box that had the leg lamp in it. Yes,
really
fragile must be Italian. That's fragile, Dad.
Fragile.
Actually, it was the wife. Who, by the way, the wife. You ever notice when you watch movies when you're a kid, you don't think anything of it, or a teenager? Then you get older and you're a dad or whatever, and then it's wow, Ralphie's mom in A Christmas Story.
Can I offer up
very fetching
an example? I was Christmas Vacation was on last night, and in all those vacation movies, the wife of Chevy Chase,
Beverly D'Angelo, absolutely another great case.
Yep,
it's us as men maturing and understand that. That beauty is not contained within, a certain age demographic. I think maybe this gets us joint cover, Mark, Feminist of the Week.
Yeah, it'd be good. Like,
Here,
get us both on there.
Turn sideways, Mark, for the cover like this, and then in post, put us back to back, Justin, Feminist of the Week, and then headline something like "Beauty knows no limits when it comes to age," something like that. Here we go.
Nice.
All right, got it.
Wait, you guys are facing the same direction. I need one of you to face one way and the other to face
Can't
the
you
other.
figure that? Okay.
And I can flip you in post, sure, but
you want me to go this way?
You want me to go this way?
No, Mark, you were good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aren't we facing the same direction now?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Maybe your screen's flipped, but to me, that looks right.
Okay. Anyway.
Just did a magazine shoot.
We did. Let's get back on track here.
Gorgeous.
Great game. Excellent game. Connor, anything else to add?
No. I mean, I think you guys nailed it.
You look just won Feminist of the Week.
Yeah, you look great, by the way. Yeah.
How about the mom from Christmas Story?
I think just based on how I digest things, I was more struck by the fact that the dad could just go out there and be a grinder and just the division of responsibilities in the household that just kind of blows my mind now as a modern person, that like dads back then were just like constantly fixing like a dangerously broken water heater or furnace or car tire or something like that. And really, I mean, what's been asked of us has changed dramatically.
Absolutely. And that is very true. And the dads back then put food on the table, fix the busted furnace, and it's such a distance that in that brilliant film that was based on the who wrote the short story? Who wrote the Christmas Story? That it was adapted into a film, and he was the narrator as well.
Oh, in real life?
Yeah. It was written by Gene Shepard. That he was just known as the old man. That's all he was. Like he was the old man. Like there was nothing warm, or they didn't have any really. He had his role in society. Probably fought in a war, and he did his job. And he cursed at a very high level.
Now they're walking around with baby backpacks. Have a nice time.
We have exactly. Strapping your baby to your chest. Come on. If you're outside the U.S., I wonder if A Christmas Story has anything close to the hold that it has on the American public as a film that almost everyone watches every year and is played on a rerun on basic cable. Connor, I know basic cable. This is a huge staple that A Christmas Story on TNT or TBS
24 straight hours. Yep.
24 straight hours.
What?
And you didn't know that, Mark?
I think not that particular fact. No.
I think another station now is doing Elf as like counter programming, which is smart. I mean, Elf I think is brilliant in its own right, but it's just I think in 20 years Elf will be on par as a classic at the level that Christmas Story is now, for sure.
Yeah. Although I have in my pecking order, it's not close. But
sit on a throne. What about It's a Wonderful Life? Wouldn't that be number one?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's
Every generation gets their own, right?
Right. Sure. What's
and
ours?
For people, I think Gen X, millennials. It was A Christmas Story, which came out in 1983. Elf comes out 20 years later in 2003. So that's for the next generation. Justin's generation is probably more Elf. And then for the baby boomers, it was It's a Wonderful Life, right?
Right.
My mom loves White Christmas as well with Bing Crosby and George Clooney's aunt. All right. Little Christmas.
Was Elf the last good Christmas movie that could even be considered a classic or future classic to be released?
It's a good question. Let's think on that. But maybe every 20 years we get one. So maybe we're due for another one, and we'll see.
Gen Z's Christmas movie, which will be like Tron 3 or something.
Right, be like a TikTok.
We're
just cranky old people.
We're a mess.
Just to avoid, just very quickly, because I know that this is going to be 80% of the commentary. The Home Alone 1 and 2. I mean that kind of bridges the gap between the Christmas
Elf
Story generation
Christmas Story,
and the Elf generation. So
and Christmas Vacation, we had a nice
Christmas
run
Vacation.
there.
Yep, yeah.
And even if you're a Tim Allen guy, like I know Justin is, he might even say Santa Claus. So we had like a big run from 89 to 94 about but we are due for another one. But the Hollywood machine barely makes any movies that are original IP at this point. So anyway, back to the game. Bears, Niners, great tests for the Bears. I'd love to see them show up, but I like the Niners in a blowout there. All right.
Ooh. Wow.
How about
blowout.
How about that? All right, Monday Night Football, real quick on this one. The number 1 Rams, 11-4 at the number 22 Falcons, 6-9. You want to talk about a blowout. I mean, I feel like the Rams, after they let that game get away on Thursday night, they actually get a few extra days to rest up and prepare. They get a Falcons team that, yeah, sure, they beat the Cardinals last week, and I guess that they're respectfully playing out the string here. But this is not, I don't think, when you want to get the Rams on the road. I understand we're on the road here, but we're in a dome. I expect fireworks and a one-sided affair here for Los Angeles. What do you guys think?
This is another Breer reference, but he reported this week that the Falcons have brought in a sports consulting firm, which is never good news if you're Raheem Morris or if you're the general manager or anybody else here, Terry Fontenot. It's essentially like doing your job with the Bobs from Office Space hanging around, which heavily blows. And I think we've all been through that in one point or another. So will they play accordingly? Because this is, this is just a terrible situation.
It's bad. I wonder if there's any advantage to the fact that Raheem Morris knows the Rams about as well as anyone possibly could, having been inside the organization. Yeah. Probably it doesn't.
All right. There you go, Mark. You dropped it. Maybe a little nugget of possibility that the Rams stumble, but I don't see it. I don't see it at all. And what Max Crosby said, the quote that we heard earlier, like, I don't care about, the matchup and the ramifications, number 1 pick. Like, I'm just going to try to be the best defensive end in the world. Like, these guys on the Falcons and all these other teams that are donezo, it's just like, now you're just playing for your stats. You're playing to stay hopefully healthy.
Yeah.
And it's much more individual based rather than team. And some teams just fold up shop and go home. Let's see what the Falcons do. All right, let's move to the other ones. Remember, this is not our fault that your team is there. It's their fault. 90 seconds on each game we missed, starting with the number 18 Cowboys, 6-8-1 at the number 26 Commanders, 4-11. Yikes. This is one of those Christmas games. Iron Eagle, Nate Burleson, and Matt Ryan on the call. Here's Jerry Jones, by the way, on the Cowboy season.
From what we expected, what we thought, absolutely, it did. We all underachieved, really. And the fact we're not in the playoffs says that for you.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Like hire a coach, get into the coaching carousel, hire a real coach, sign real free agents. Don't trade away Micah Parsons. Like, this is not a surprise. This is exactly where you thought you'd be. It's bullshit. Like, why? I don't know. This guy needs to be fact checked at every level, like certain people in our society. So, go ahead.
Not sure we need to go anywhere from there. I mean, I do think Brian Schottenheimer has done a better job than most people would have expected. I don't like where they are right now.
I thought the same thing, Mark, but then to Connor's point, like, they're 6-8-1, which is kind of what you kind
of
thought was going to be
there,
how
and he
things
wanted
are.
to work with a good quarterback. Didn't even get him in the building. Like, let's go. What are we doing here?
The operation is sloppy in Dallas. It really is. And there's a reason why they haven't been to the NFC title game in 30 years. Let's be real. Moving on, the number 14 Detroit Lions, 8-7 at the number 17 Minnesota Vikings, 7-8. Another Christmas game. Yikes. JJ McCarthy has a hairline fracture in his hand. He's out for the game. Max Brosmer gets the start. Fire up your Lions offensive players in fantasy. At the same time, I'll give the Vikings and Brian Flores credit. I think they're on like a historic streak right now. It's been 6 consecutive games, I think is the number, that no one has thrown a touchdown pass against the Minnesota Vikings, which is a crazy-ass stat. And Jared Goff, I think, is going to break that string only because with Brosmer at Q, I feel like the defense is going to be on the field way too much, and they'll break through. That said, with the Lions, it's hard, Mark, to figure out what they're doing at any point this season.
Well, it's a depressing matchup for that exact reason. I will say that I like that you mentioned Brian Flores. Like, this defense has allowed the fewest fantasy QB points of any defense in the league. And if you go back to even when he was with the Dolphins, Brian Flores, like, There have been encounters with Jared Goff where Brian Flores knew how to make Goff feel very uncomfortable. So I want to see how that plays out. Overall, though, you look at the Lions that they can play and get their weapons involved. Like, you take care of the Vikings in this game. Max Brosner was awful in his single start.
Just get out of here with a good taste in your mouth in terms of play calling. Like, try to get into some kind of rhythm if you're Dan Campbell.
Can't spit it. Can't spit it out. You got to swallow it. Up next, the number 8 Broncos, 12-3 at the number 25 Chiefs, 6-9. Yeah, I guess we could touch on this now. This is the other Christmas game. Connor, putting the Chiefs at number 32 in the power rankings because you're angry with them about their stadium plans was the exact type of thing that we try to separate ourselves in the power rankings game with a level-headed approach to the proceedings. And you making it personal like that, I mean, it puts the entire operation at risk. So tisk.
Okay. Well, we're talking about
Farbuck.
Right. We're talking about the Selena Chiefs, right? The Hutchinson Chiefs, the Lawrenson Chiefs. I think it's one of those. My argument to counter is this. Leaving a tenured place to follow the money is the opposite of power. This doesn't make you an NFL team. This makes you an OnlyFans gal who sits on cakes for a living. And so it's like, oh, tell me what color you want the cake. And then if you spend whatever, then I'll sit on whatever kinds of cakes. And so that's what the Chiefs are. They are they're just dancing for the person with the biggest wad of cash in their pocket. And they will be treated in the power rankings as such until a time that I deem they've gained their respect back. So
I tried, Mark.
Yeah, here. Broncos. When is the last time on this earth that they traveled to Kansas City and were 13.5 favorites?
What are you combing spreads now, Mark? That's part of the rules of our upcoming game. We don't know the spreads.
I wasn't going to go down that road anyways.
Jesus.
No,
After you voted for yourself in the draft results a couple weeks ago.
It really is coming undone.
It's starting to be a little bit.
That information arrived to me without me seeking it out.
Sassy. Exposed. Number 5, New England Patriots, 12-3 at the number 31 Jets, 3-12. This will be MVP candidate Drake May versus undrafted rookie free agent. I don't even remember his name. Brady Cook. This will be a bloodbath at the Meadowlands. There's going to be nobody in that building, as Francesa would say. He would also say that building's going to just filled with Patriots fans, and it will. And the Patriots are going to spank the Jets by 3 or 4 touchdowns, and they're going to win the AFC East as a result, and everyone's going to be happy and talking up the Patriots, and that's fine. As for the Jets, they have placed QB Justin Fields on IR, ending his season and possibly his time with the team. He's owed $10 million guaranteed next year. They got to take a little bit of a cap bath there. Over the 2 years, they could spread it out, but Fields is going nowhere near this team next year. They're going to, I think, blow up the entire quarterback position. And I feel, despite the talk that, the Jets could wait this year and take a quarterback the year after when they also have 2 first-round picks, I don't think so. I think the Jets are aggressively tanking right now, which I'm totally fine with, and I think they are going to make a move up the board to get Mendoza or another QB. That is my prediction around the Jets.
But it sounds like Aaron Glenn is safe?
Most likely. As long as like organizationally they're fine with losing their last 5 games by like 3 touchdowns. Like, but they also are like, it's hard as a fan. Like, can I get down on the coach when it's very clear what the team is doing here? They're not trying to win. They have this Cook kid playing quarterback. They never brought back Garrett Wilson from IR. Mm-hmm. They traded away their 2 best players on defense. Like, this team is aggressively tanking to set themselves up and it's hard to like bury the coach as a result. He's kind of an incomplete grade for me. All right, the number 20 Buccaneers 7-8 at the number 24 Dolphins 6-9. The Albert Vilma game. Give me something, Connor.
Yeah, I mean, let's get a more balanced attack. I mean, talk about defenses that were kind of not performing well and have had a couple of good weeks towards the back end of the season. You could say that Anthony Weaver's had a decent run over the back half here, and Tampa needs to get it going. I mean, the amount of I think Ibuka had something only 20 routes run last week in that critical game.
They're phasing him out of the
Panthers.
offense. What a strange rookie season he's had.
And so I think this is a big Grizzard game where you have an opportunity. It's not like there's a bunch of world beaters on the other side of the ball. Let's get it rolling. Let's distribute. Let's make Baker Mayfield look really comfortable and feel really comfortable in this offense before that cynicism really sets in and mortars and affects you in that winner go home game next week. So
and you can run on this Dolphins team, and they gave up 45 points to the Bengals. They were gashed by the Jets on the ground. Run the ball, balance, Bucky Irvin. Get out of here with a win. This season for the Bucs has become dark.
I'll go this far. This game, I think both these head coaches are gone, McDaniel and Bowles. And I think our last game, the number 27 Cardinals at the number 19 Bengals, I think both of these coaches are gone too. I think Gannon's a no-brainer. He got his chance and he failed, so he'll be back running a defense somewhere next year. And the Cincinnati Bengals, I do think what you're going to get out of this Joe Burrow soap opera is getting rid of the coach and letting Burrow handpick who his guy is. And maybe the problem then will be the Bengals would have to potentially get in some type of bidding war for a hot name on the market, which the Bengals don't typically thrive in bidding wars. But anyway, I think these coaches are both cooked as well. Your thoughts? There
is some reporting out there that Zach Taylor will return. That could change, but I look at that organization differently. They kept Marvin Lewis for 7,000 years when there was reason to move on and get someone better. They didn't have Joe Burrow then, so it's different. I don't know if I want him to pick the coach, but I want him to be all in. I don't even know if you play Joe Burrow in this game, but I guess you do.
They already said they're playing him out because they're trying to win, which might be stupid, but that's the way they do it.
Right.
All right, let's move on. Blind locks. It is not good, guys. This is bad. This is the type of stuff that we need to nip in the bud right now, because we're trying to present ourselves as knowledgeable football people, but we're 0-4 in week 16. We were 1-3 in week 15. So I think we need to have a plus record this week. So let's see what we can do. Let's try to go for a sweep. How about that? The standings are what the standings are. It's not looking great. Connor 9-7 in the lead. Hanzus and Sessler 8-8, a game out, and Justin 7-9. And remember, this competition goes through the playoffs, so it's anyone's game. And with that said, let's get into the picks. Mark, get us going.
All right. Man, I struggled with this one. I'm going to go Bills over Eagles. I don't feel great about it, but I definitely picking a home team, and I'm praying that this occurs.
I don't feel great about it.
No, I don't feel great about any option out there.
Yeah. Okay. You're not going to get a lock, bro, with that type of explanation, Mark.
Well, someone might feel better. I just know that I'm being honest. It's
you are all over the place with the Bills, bud. You are all over the place.
That is correct.
All right.
That is correct.
Connor? By the way, Connor, for everyone that hasn't been tracking, 2 weeks in a row, he's been hunting for a favorite and then got dinged because that favorite was favored by more than 5 points or more. So he had to double cover the spread and lost both matchups. So let's see if he changes his strategy in a big spot.
When the Lions were up 10, or about to be up 10 very briefly last week, I had started to pick a spot in my house where I could film myself going, and then I was going to send it to Justin. So I got there. It's just I can't seem to get across the threshold. I'm taking the Chargers over the Texans. I think the spread here will be airtight. I'm hoping, and maybe I walk away with the dub here.
I think that's a good pick. I feel like you kind of stole it from me because I hinted at it earlier.
I think it's risky, but okay.
All right, Mr. Bills over Eagles.
I'm not,
you demon twinked your way to your pick. So
I'm not waltzing around suggesting that I've beaten the sky. I'm telling you, I'm not sure how that's going to go.
I feel, okay, I'm not in desperation mode where I need to chase games, chase standings here. So I'm going to lock bro with you on this one, Connor. I'm going to also grab the Chargers.
And Dan, I'm going
yes.
to exercise my ability to prevent you from lock broing with me. So,
wow.
This was a bylaw that was entered onto the books 6 weeks ago. I've been keeping it in my.
This is unbelievable.
Justin, am I incorrect?
No, you are correct. This is
Thank
definitely a rule that
I
Dan
have to
created.
tell you something, Connor. You are scurrilous. You are a despicable competitor. And while game respects game, because I like your angle here, I think it's been shown week after week, whether it's this game or the draft on Patreon, that there's really nothing that no lengths that you'll go in terms of trying to get ahead of the opposition.
You know, he's got a little Post-it note on his screen there with this rule from 6 weeks ago that we mentioned that we had all forgotten about.
Don't forget that I'm an asshole. Yeah, that is. I'm impressed, but also I'm disgusted by you in equal measures.
Listen, when you grow up looking like this,
get what you f***ing deserve.
A 5'8", scrappy, pear-shaped Irish person, you learn how to bite and spit and claw and scratch, and that's what we're gonna do. Right to the end.
All right.
Merry Christmas!
All right, let's go with the Niners on Sunday Night Football over the Bears. I think who knows at this point with Vegas, but
the Bears spreads have been so f***ed.
Yeah, at some point you would think that Vegas will come around and be like the Bears at the very least will keep games close and win most of them, but
Right.
a little bit of danger there. But I will go with San Francisco. Justin?
I don't know what I want to do. My goodness gracious. Okay, this is potentially foolish. But Dan, you've talked about this on the show before, a few weeks ago maybe. A team that is really, really, really good, like number one in the power rankings good, coming off a loss is like the most dangerous team in the NFL, even if they have to double whatever the actual point spread is. I do think it's going to be outside the zone because the Falcons suck, but I think the Rams can win that game by 25 points. I'll take the Rams on Monday Night Football potentially to have to double.
Don't
I
like any
flexing
bit
your
of this.
muscles right there.
The odds are highly stacked against you. In fact, I think if it's happened, let's say 10 times this season where someone's had a cover double, it's probably happened like 20% of the time. You're putting yourself behind the eight ball, and I'm going to guess. Let's guess the spread on this one. Rams. I'm going to say Rams by 7.5. Does that sound about right?
I'd go 7.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even like 8. But I don't think McVay would do that to Raheem either. I think he would call off the dogs, which is something else to consider.
Also, the Falcons played hard and won last week, and they're at home. I don't know. It's a risky
one.
Well,
let's not talk Justin out of it.
You can't. He's made the pick. Let's see where everybody came down.
Okay, nice.
Okay. All right. All right. So San Francisco is -3. I'm safe. Connor, Chargers 2.5. You're safe.
I'm
Mark,
safe.
you had Buffalo -1.5. You're safe. Justin, we knew you were going to be over. We said 8.
17 points. Holy shit.
Yeah, we
that ain't happening.
We had 7.5. It's 8.5. So you got to win by 17. I feel like you just signed your death warrant.
31-10 final score.
All right. Well, good luck to you.
Thanks.
Good luck to you. All right, everybody. There we go. Big week. Consequential week in the blind locks. Just want to wish everyone who celebrates a very Merry Christmas and enjoy this time with friends and family. And thank you. If maybe you need a break right now. Maybe you're at a family party on Christmas Eve night and you're just like, I need a break, so I'm going to hang out with the heroes. We're glad that we could be there for you. So enjoy this special time. We'll be back on the other side Sunday with the flagship program. Check out the Patreon where we did our draft. And yes, happy holidays. And remember, heed the call.
Want to give a gift that actually matters this season? Start with skincare that's clean, effective, and actually works. Primally Pure makes gifting simple. From cult favorite staples to limited edition holiday scents, all toxin-free, intentionally crafted, and ready to wrap. Perfect for gifting or treating yourself. Skip the synthetic fragrances and holiday gimmicks. Cozy vanilla mint body care, cranberry red lip balm. Primally Pure captures all the festive nostalgia naturally. Thousands of glowing reviews prove it. This is clean beauty that works inside and out. Skin, body, wellness. Their products help you create rituals that last well beyond the holidays. 'Tis the season for tradition and intention. Shop Primally Pure's best-selling essentials and new limited edition bundles to wrap up wellness for everyone on your list, including yourself. Hedley & Bennett is here to up-level your kitchen style and function. From aprons to super sharp Japanese steel knives, Hedley & Bennett makes premium gear that's built to last. You've seen their aprons on top chefs, in your favorite restaurants, and even on TV cooking shows. They've got the perfect gift for every cook, with special collaborations featuring the NFL, One Piece, Bob's Burgers, Disney, and more. Head over to HedleyandBennett.com and use code PODCAST15 at checkout for 15% off your order. Elevate your cooking experience with Hedley & Bennett today.